On Google Maps, it is a massive empty concrete plot of land with a single boarded up building. But getting closer, there are small little clues to the property's past. Piles of bricks, bent railings, former loading docks. These tiny observations led to GDX Automotive. Once one of Wabash's largest employers, the site sits empty and contaminated. But how did we get here? We'll dive into the history of the GDX property in this episode of Before any bricklaying was done, before the city of Wabash had its feet on the ground, the land was assigned to the Miami Native American leader named Little Charlie. Little Charlie had numerous land grants across all northeastern Indiana, so he wasn't always occupying the land. Eventually, Little Charlie left and settled near modern-day Logansport, while his heirs held on to the land, though it was slowly sold off. The land that would come to hold the GDX Automotive plant was originally given to Wabash County Agricultural Society to be used as a fairground. The fairground lasted to the mid-1800s when it was sectioned off and the first industrial plant was built. With the rise of industrialization in Wabash, the Wabash Bridge and Ironworks factory was soon up and running, where, no surprise, the factory manufactured iron bridges. Unfortunately, when the iron bridge industry began to falter, the company went under. Following the foundering, the Service Motor Truck Company occupied the building, constructing two more structures. The company's heyday would come with the First World War, where they fulfilled numerous contracts for trucks. But the Great Depression left the company insolvent. The Service Motor Truck Company sold parts of itself to a plant in Ohio, before ceasing operations and leaving the land empty for several years. After the property's vacancy, General Tire and Rubber set up shop in the building during the mid-1930s. With the impending conflict of World War II on the horizon, operations expanded incredibly fast. So fast, in fact, that the plant quickly became one of Wabash's largest employers. The plant had such a large effect on the town that it even altered demographics. General Tire and Rubber would regularly visit coal mining towns in Kentucky to recruit workers and bus them up to Wabash. In fact, the company moved so many people, the city had to section off a portion of the city park to create a temporary living space for the new arrivals. General Rubber and Tire reincorporated as GenCorp before transferring the building to GDX Automotive in 2004. GDX continued operating and employing over 800 individuals, even considering expansion with support from incentive payments from the city. But this story doesn't have a happy ending, as the 2008 recession tore through the company, and in October of 2008, GDX announced the closure of Wabash's second largest employer. After the closure, over 800 individuals were left without jobs, while the city of Wabash was left with a massive factory. Though an entity titled One General Street LLC quickly purchased the property and removed all of the sellable scrap before demolishing the plant. After demolition, the property went unused and unwanted until 2022 when the city of Wabash finally took ownership. One of our favorite stories to come out of the GDX Automotive plant was Democratic Representative Brad Ellsworth falsely alleging his opponent of collaborating to close the factory. Ellsworth argued in a video titled "Move to Mexico" that his opponent Dan Coates pushed for the closure of the plant. While Coates had a connection to the company and had received payment from them, there was no evidence that Coates had any involvement. Another fascinating bit of information comes from Indiana artist Nathaniel Gray. Gray was living in Wabash during the factory's demolition and completed a series of paintings documenting the building's demolition. And honestly, that is what we love about covering these buildings. You never know what small and interesting stories you'll learn about and hear. We learned about false political allegations, a series of evocative paintings, and for some reason, I was researching why iron bridges faltered as an industry. Each building presents a rabbit hole of information, and the GDX Automotive plant is no exception. The city of Wabash still holds ownership of the site, and has recently boarded up the final remaining building on the property, with plans to decontaminate and develop housing additions on the land. Thank you for watching, and good night.